HESI A2 Anatomy and Physiology Mock Exam. Question 1. A learner connects the clues, forms the posterior skull and surrounds the foramen magnum and articulates with the first cervical vertebra. Which option best matches both clues? Option A, ulna. Option B, ilium. Option C, occipital bone. Option D, a radius. The correct answer is option C, occipital bone. The function described is that this bone forms the posterior skull and surrounds the foramen magnum. A second identifying feature is that it articulates with the first cervical vertebra. Together, the two clues explain the role in connecting the skull to the vertebral column. Question 2. A review item describes a reproductive structure that produces strong contractions during labor. Which option identifies it? Option A, myometrium. Option B, Leydig cell. Option C, uterus. Option D, seminiferous tubule. The correct answer is option A, myometrium. For supporting childbirth, this reproductive structure forms the muscular uterine wall. It can also be recognized because it produces strong contractions during labor. The remaining choices have different primary functions or locations. Question 3. Which option identifies the structure whose key function is, changes lens curvature for near or distant vision? Option A, corpus callosum. Option B, vagus nerve. Option C, ciliary muscle. Option D, tympanic membrane. The correct answer is option C, ciliary muscle. This structure changes lens curvature for near or distant vision. It acts through suspensory fibers. These linked features explain the role in supporting accommodation. Stressed about your HESI A2? We can take HESI A2 for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. Which option identifies the structure most directly associated with understanding language in this function, supports comprehension of spoken and written language? Option A, vestibule. Option B, occipital lobe. Option C, thalamus. Option D, a Wernicke area. The correct answer is option D, Wernicke area. This structure participates in understanding language. It supports comprehension of spoken and written language, and it is usually located in the dominant temporal minus parietal region. Those details distinguish the tested concept from related choices. Question 5. Which option identifies the directional term with this feature? It is used to compare internal structures with more external ones. Option A, deep. Option B, medial. Option C, superior. Option D, contralateral. The correct answer is option A, deep. This directional term participates in describing the lungs relative to the ribs. It indicates a location farther from the body surface, and it is used to compare internal structures with more external ones. Those details distinguish the tested concept from related choices. Question 6. Impairment of which vascular structure would most directly prevent the following function? Controls resistance and local tissue blood flow? Option A, muscular artery. Option B, arteriole. Option C, vasoconstriction. Option D, sinusoid. The correct answer is option B, arteriole. A key clue is that this vascular structure changes diameter through smooth minus muscle contraction or relaxation. It also controls resistance and local tissue blood flow. That combination is central to regulating blood pressure and perfusion. Question 7. Which option identifies the level with this feature? It includes structures such as the stomach and heart. Option A, organ level. Option B, cellular level. Option C, tissue level. Option D, organismal level. The correct answer is option A, organ level. This level participates in organizing human anatomy from smallest to largest. It combines two or more tissue types into a functional structure, and it includes structures such as the stomach and heart. Those details distinguish the tested concept from related choices. Question 8. A learner connects the clues, contains receptor cells that detect dissolved chemicals and is located mainly in papillae of the tongue. Which option best matches both clues? Option A, withdrawal reflex. Option B, sympathetic division. Option C, taste bud. Option D, tympanic membrane. The correct answer is option C, taste bud. The function described is that this structure contains receptor cells that detect dissolved chemicals. A second identifying feature is that it is located mainly in papillae of the tongue. Together, the two clues explain the role in supporting taste. Are you looking for HESI A2 actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access HESI A2 study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get HESI A2 answer key today. Question 9. Which option identifies the bone most important for protecting the frontal lobes because it forms the forehead and part of the orbit roof? Option A, ulna. Option B, temporal bone. Option C, fibula. Option D, frontal bone. The correct answer is option D, frontal bone. A key clue is that this bone is an unpaired cranial bone at the anterior skull. It also forms the forehead and part of the orbit roof. That combination is central to protecting the frontal lobes. Question 10. Which option identifies the duct associated with delivering enzymes and bicarbonate? In both clues, it carries exocrine pancreatic secretions to the duodenum, and it often joins the common bile duct near the intestinal wall. Option A, cardia of stomach. Option B, external intercostal contraction. Option C, zygote. Option D, pancreatic duct. The correct answer is option D, pancreatic duct. The function described is that this duct carries exocrine pancreatic secretions to the duodenum. A second identifying feature is that it often joins the common bile duct near the intestinal wall. Together, the two clues explain the role in delivering enzymes and bicarbonate. Question 11. Impairment of which lipoprotein particle would most directly prevent the following function? Transports absorbed dietary triglycerides away from intestinal cells? Option A, chylomicron. Option B, primary oocyte. Option C, G1 phase. Option D, cortisol. The correct answer is option A, chylomicron. A key clue is that this lipoprotein particle enters lymphatic lacteals before reaching the bloodstream. It also transports absorbed dietary triglycerides away from intestinal cells. That combination is central to absorbing fats. Question 12. Which option identifies the sphincter with this feature? It contains skeletal muscle under somatic control. Option A, internal urethral sphincter. Option B, lower esophageal sphincter. Option C, external urethral sphincter. Option D, external anal sphincter. The correct answer is option C, external urethral sphincter. This sphincter participates in delaying micturition. It provides voluntary control of urination, and it contains skeletal muscle under somatic control. Those details distinguish the tested concept from related choices. Question 13. A review item describes a bone that includes rib pairs 8 through 12. Which option identifies it? Option A, zygomatic bone. Option B, true rib. Option C, coccyx. Option D, false rib. The correct answer is option D, false rib. For forming the lower thoracic cage, this bone attaches indirectly or not at all to the sternum. It can also be recognized because it includes rib pairs 8 through 12. The remaining choices have different primary functions or locations. Question 14. A student is reviewing a concept involved in completing carbohydrate digestion. Which option identifies the digestive enzyme with this function? Splits maltose into glucose units? Option A, peptidase. Option B, maltase. Option C, carboxypeptidase. Option D, a lingual lipase. The correct answer is option B, maltase. The role tested here involves completing carbohydrate digestion. This digestive enzyme splits maltose into glucose units. It can also be identified because it is attached to the small intestinal brush border. Question 15. A learner connects the clues, assembles ribosomal subunits, and appears as a dense region inside the nucleus. Which option best matches both clues? Option A, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Option B, centrosome. Option C, peroxisome. Option D, nucleolus. The correct answer is option D, nucleolus. The function described is that this cell structure assembles ribosomal subunits. A second identifying feature is that it appears as a dense region inside the nucleus. Together, the two clues explain the role in preparing the machinery for protein synthesis. Question 16. Which option identifies the chemical concept most important for supporting nerve and muscle function because it carries an electrical charge after gaining or losing electrons? Option A, ion. Option B, nucleic acid. Option C, buffer. Option D, acid. The correct answer is option A, ion. A key clue is that this chemical concept influences membrane potentials and fluid balance. It also carries an electrical charge after gaining or losing electrons. That combineth described concept is central to supporting nerve and muscle func described concept. Question 17. Which option identifies the process best matching this description? It is regulated according to body stores and transported in blood by a binding protein, and it moves dietary iron mainly through the duodenum. Option A, gluconeogenesis. Option B, iron absorption. Option C, inhalation. Option D, control center. The correct answer is option B, iron absorption. For supporting hemoglobin production, this process moves dietary iron mainly through the duodenum. It can also be recognized because it is regulated according to body stores and transported in blood by a binding protein. The remaining choices have different primary functions or locations. Question 18. Which option identifies the urinary structure associated with controlling micturition in both clues? It stores urine until elimination, and it has a distensible wall lined by transitional epithelium. Option A, descending limb. Option B, descending limb. Option C, collecting duct. Option D, urinary bladder. The correct answer is option D, urinary bladder. The function described is that this urinary structure stores urine until elimination. A second identifying feature is that it has a distensible wall lined by transitional epithelium. Together, the two clues explain the role in controlling micturition.
Stressed about your NA-CCMA? We can take NA-CCMA for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. Which option identifies the muscles associated with crossing one leg over the other in both clues? They flexes, abducts, and laterally rotates the thigh while flexing the knee, and they runs diagonally across the anterior thigh. Option A, sartorius. Option B, diaphragm. Option C, gastrocnemius. Option D, brachialis. The correct answer is option A, sartorius. The function described is that these muscles flexes, abducts, and laterally rotates the thigh while flexing the knee. A second identifying feature is that they runs diagonally across the anterior thigh. Together, the two clues explain the role in crossing one leg over the other. Question 20. Which option identifies the respiratory structure most directly associated with forming the superior part of the throat and this function conducts air behind the nasal cavity? Option A, nasopharynx. Option B, larynx. Option C, pharynx. Option D, a bronchiole. The correct answer is option A, nasopharynx. This respiratory structure participates in forming the superior part of the throat. It conducts air behind the nasal cavity, and it contains openings of the auditory tubes. Those details distinguish the tested concept from related choices. Question 21. A student is reviewing a concept involved in pushing or bringing the arm across the body. Which option identifies the muscles with this function, flexes, adducts, and medially rotates the arm? Option A, tibialis anterior. Option B, gastrocnemius. Option C, pectoralis major. Option D, gluteus medius. The correct answer is option C, pectoralis major. The role tested here involves pushing or bringing the arm across the body. These muscles flexes, adducts, and medially rotates the arm. They can also be identified because they forms much of the anterior chest wall. Question 22. A learner connects the clues allow the stomach to expand as it fills and are folds of the mucosa and submucosa. Which option best matches both clues? Option A, mitochondrion. Option B, rugae. Option C, dorsal root. Option D, humerus. The correct answer is option B, rugae. The function described is that these folds allow the stomach to expand as it fills. A second identifying feature is that they are folds of the mucosa and submucosa. Together, the two clues explain the role in accommodating a meal. Question 23. Which option identifies the reproductive structure associated with supporting fertilization and transport in both clues? It transports an oocyte or early embryo toward the uterus, and it uses cilia and smooth minus muscle contractions. Option A, acrosome. Option B, corpus luteum. Option C, uterine tube. Option D, penis. The correct answer is option C, uterine tube. The function described is that this reproductive structure transports an oocyte or early embryo toward the uterus. A second identifying feature is that it uses cilia and smooth minus muscle contractions. Together, the two clues explain the role in supporting fertilization and transport. Question 24. Which option identifies the muscle most directly associated with bending the elbow in this function, acts as a strong elbow flexor in any forearm position? Option A, gastrocnemius. Option B, brachialis. Option C, soleus. Option D, gluteus medius. The correct answer is option B, brachialis. This muscle participates in bending the elbow. It acts as a strong elbow flexor in any forearm position, and it lies deep to the biceps on the anterior arm. Those details distinguish the tested concept from related choices. Question 25. A physiology item gives two clues. It transports sperm from the epididymis toward the ejaculatory duct, and it has a thick smooth minus muscle wall. Which option identifies the reproductive structure? Option A, cervix. Option B, ductus deferens. Option C, ovarian follicle. Option D, seminiferous tubule. The correct answer is option B, ductus deferens. The role tested here involves moving sperm during ejaculation. This reproductive structure transports sperm from the epididymis toward the ejaculatory duct. It can also be identified because it has a thick smooth minus muscle wall.